Hey, kia ora everyone. It is TJ and you're watching the New Zealand Mysteries, get it right, live stream. And I want to welcome everyone that's popped in already. It's fantastic to see you guys every time. The rules are pinned to the top of the chat, so if you need to look at those, please do so. Uh, Nothing serious. We just don't talk about other creators. We're not rude and disrespectful. And we just don't be a dick, really. So we've got a bit to get through today. So we're going to look at some news from New Zealand that's going on at the moment, and then we're going to cover some cases that are actually from the US, and they're cases of youngins going missing, teenagers or young adults. So Daniel Robinson, Jelani Day, and Brendan Santo what we're going to look at today, the cases. If this sounds like something that you're interested in helping with, please hit the like button and the subscribe. Give us a notification bell hit and put it to all so that you can get updates as well. So I'm a bit tired today, but that's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. So first, I wanted to talk to you a little about donations and how they help the show. And I'm going to share a screen with you of my Facebook page, and you might be able to see. So this is, no, hang on. Yep, there it is. This is my Facebook page. And this is the side that I see, not the side that you guys see. But I just wanted to point out whether I get donations from this side or that side, or super chats or membership, whatever it is, this is where some of the money helps me. As you can see, this is my last video, and I've actually paid to boost it down here for a week. And so far, it's reached 1,100 people, and 39 people have clicked the link. So that's what it's all about, is getting these stories out into the community, out into New Zealand mainly for these ones, so as many people can see them as possible, and share and get the message out. So I just want to thank you all basically for helping, whichever side you choose to help on. But even if it's not that, even if it's just sharing and talking about these cases, that's good enough. It's a great way of helping. And it's free to like, it's free to subscribe, and free to share. And that's what it's all about. So I did want to start with some New Zealand cases. I'm waiting for some people to come in. First, I wanted to report on another very sad case in New Zealand, and we're going to look at this from my web. New Zealand. It's a great start, isn't it? I can't get my mouth right. So, from the Bay of Plenty Police, and my words up here, and again, exclamation mark, should tell you that story. An investigation is underway after a 5-year-old boy died in Starship Children's Hospital this morning. The death is being treated as suspicious, and a post-mortem is due to be carried out today. Emergency services were initially called to a Tapuna residential property on Monday, 1st of November, after the young boy was found with injuries. He was treated in Tauranga Hospital before being airlifted to Auckland. Police expect to be in a position to provide a further update once the post-mortem has been completed. Now, this happens so often in New Zealand that people just, they're like, and again, it happens again and again. There's definitely some really angry people. Someone here says, "Oh my God, I can't believe how many children die at the hands of another in this country. No excuses. Nothing can absolve you from killing a child." Someone says, "Let me guess the outcome of this. Families stay quiet. No one talks. No one gets charged, and the child gets no justice." and poo to the humans who think this is okay. It's gross. So another one, why is now Prime Minister and her government addressing this major issue of kids being harmed and murdered? It's an utter disgrace. So people get really angry with this sort of stuff because it seems like it just is something that just goes on and on and on. And when people do go, if someone talks, because quite often these families clam up and won't say shit, if someone talks and someone gets found guilty of it, the New Zealand punishment, I should say, is just it's not even a deterrent. It's ridiculous. And just makes your blood boil, I tell you. So also on here today, missing in Auckland still. Police appealing to the public for sightings of missing woman Cindy Lee from Sandringham. Cindy is aged 70 and has been missing since yesterday morning. Police were notified last night after she left an address on Tranmere Road on foot and failed to return. Police believe she may be in the wider Auckland city area and are currently carrying out a number of inquiries and efforts to locate her. Cindy was last seen wearing a long-sleeve t-shirt, long track pants and black shoes. Anyone who sees Cindy should call 111. Anyone with information or movements should contact 105 and file number 211110/4026. Hey, Kaleidoscope, good to see you. No, you haven't missed much at all. I was just actually showing people where their donations go, helping to boost posts on Facebook. Yeah, and you haven't missed much at all. So I'm just really going to cover a couple of New Zealand cases that are happening at the moment. So on your screen, you should have, yes, you do have, search for missing person in Taranaki. This was yesterday. A helicopter search is underway for a person who has disappeared in the Waikato River in New Plymouth. The person was last seen entering the water near Te Rewa Bridge. A police smoke. I'm going to have trouble talking today, guys. A police media spokesperson said police were called at 6:55 p.m. and are at the scene. And I wanted to show you where this was. So this is the river and it's over here on the rocks. Hey, good to see you. As always, I'm kind of trying and put the links to all the articles that I have or use in the description box below. So hopefully you can look at them if you need more info. So this is stuff.co.nz. Family of 5 failed to return from Kawakawa Bay fishing trip. Extensive search underway. An extensive search is underway for a family of 5 who failed to return from a fishing trip in Kawakawa Bay. Police said they were notified at 9:35 p.m. on Saturday night that the family, 1 adult and 4 children aged between 7 to 11 years old, had not returned as expected. Very worrying. The family's boat was yet to be located after an extensive search began overnight. The boat was described as a 14-foot fiberglass vessel and had an orange hull and white topside and had a cuddy cabin with a red canopy. I don't know what a cuddy cabin is. Cell phone polling suggested the boat was in the Thames area at around 10 a.m. on Saturday. Police said they would continue the search on Sunday, which is today for us, with its maritime unit, Coast Guard, and shoreline searches. Police would like to hear from anyone who was out on the water in that area yesterday and may have seen a boat matching the description by calling 111, quote event number P0486136668. And let's have a look at where this one is. So it's kind of at the top, just outside of Auckland. This, of course, is the North Island of New Zealand. Good to see you, Kaleidoscope. Good to see you on the rocks. Hopefully we get some more peeps in shortly when they realise that I'm on. Hopefully we don't have too much shit go on with my computer and it decides to play ball. That will also be a really good thing. So while I'm waiting, Annie, yay, you made it. Welcome. So you haven't missed much, Annie. I've just done a couple of New Zealand stories, but you'll know what they are in the news. Just showed a little bit of my Facebook page and where donations go to help that page as well. And you're a lovely person that donates. So thank you very much for that. Hazel, welcome to the stream. So once my computer starts to just, do the right thing, which should be a little while, then we're going to start looking into our major cases that we're looking into today. The first one is going to be of a young lad called Daniel Robinson. So Kaleidoscope says, I'm looking at an unidentified remains in Canada. So many. Oh, right. Yeah, it's really scary how people can go unidentified. And I know that in the US they have namers that can help identify victims. Do they have anything like that in Canada? Welcome, everyone coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It means a lot. And those are free things you can do. Just free. All right, we're going to start. This is newsnationnow.com. And we're going to start listening about the story of Daniel Robertson. When I take mute off.
After leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona, his blue Jeep turned up a month later, but no sign of him. His dad and also a private investigator.
Can you hear that?
In the desert for months, and we are getting some insight into his mindset. There are some text messages revealed in a police report from Buckeye Police that show Daniel was texting with a young woman leading up to his disappearance, and she turned down his advances. Robinson worked a side job delivering for Instacart. He also delivered liquor to a woman named Caitlin at her home. She and her friend had invited him in, apparently, and they exchanged phone numbers. Well, within the week, Robinson reportedly showed up unannounced and sent these messages saying, quote, I couldn't stop thinking about you. She wrote back saying it made her uncomfortable and that she didn't want to hang out with him. According to the text, Robinson showed up at her home again, eventually asking Caitlin, do you hate me? Honestly, you showing up at my house unannounced, she said, made me extremely uncomfortable. I don't see us hanging out anytime soon. All of these messages were then turned over to police and part of their initial report. As of tonight, Daniel's disappearance remains a mystery, and police say there is no evidence that any violence occurred or any foul play has happened. But Daniel's family say it just isn't like him to disappear. We have asked you to send us cases like Daniel's.
So you might be a bit confused, but let's go read this article and find out a bit more about Daniel Robinson. So this takes place in a place called Buckeye. And of course, it's just not loading right now because right. So it's down here in Arizona, if you're not familiar. Doesn't seem so far out of Phoenix, I guess. So a 24-year-old geologist in Arizona who has been missing since June 23rd was rebuffed by a young woman in the week leading up to his disappearance, according to police records.
Right now, 9 out of 10 hospitalizations
Are you kidding me?
from COVID are among unvaccinated people. COVID.
I hate it when that happens. Police reports obtained by News Nation show Daniel Robinson has been texting with a woman named Caitlin. On June 22nd, the day before he was last seen, Robertson wrote his final message to her, and he said, "The world can get better, but I'll have to take all the time I can, or we can. Whatever to name it, I'll either see you again or never see you again." So these are really worrying texts. On June 20, he told the woman he loved her, but she did not respond to the message directly. Daniel Robinson was last seen. Go away, lady. Daniel Robinson was last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye. His blue Jeep turned up a month later, flipped on its side with his wallet and phone inside, and there was no sign of him, which is weird. Daniel Robinson met Caitlin while delivering for Instacart. He delivered liquor to Caitlin's home. She and her friend reportedly invited him in, and they exchanged phone numbers. However, Caitlin said in the text that he showed up to her house uninvited multiple times after that. "Honestly, you showing up at my house unannounced made me extremely uncomfortable," Caitlin wrote in a text to Daniel Robinson on June 20. "I will not be home today, but I don't see us hanging out anytime soon." A day after that, Daniel wrote, "I'm outside of your place." So it seems from what we're reading that maybe we can start guessing where this case is going, but don't be too sure. Don't be too sure. Caitlin responded with question marks. "Please stop doing that. I'm not even home. This is not okay." Robertson asked her if she hated him. Her final message to Daniel on June 21st was, "I don't hate you, but please leave me alone." All of the messages were turned into police and were part of their initial report. David Robinson, Daniel's father, did I say David? I hope so, told police his son had mentioned being in love with a woman he didn't know anything about, according to the police report. Kaleidoscope of crime, you're right. It's a bit stalkerish, and it's a bit, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say the word unhinged, but definitely there's clear signs that this girl is uncomfortable with the advances and him showing up at her house and the texts and everything, and she's being very, very clear in what she expects or doesn't expect. Now I've lost my place. So the friends, family, and co-workers listed in the police report told investigators that Daniel Robinson was not suicidal, and his father is still convinced he is out there. David said, "I have faith and I really believe I'll have my son back alive," he told News Nation. Some who have examined the case, including the family's private investigator, Jeff McGrath, don't believe Daniel was in the car when it flipped over. And we'll see a picture of the car at some stage too. He says, "I have faith and I really believe I'll have my son back alive," David Robertson said. Some who have examined the case, including the family's PI, don't believe, I've just said that he was in the car. McGrath pointed out that the vehicle had 11 additional miles on it from when the airbags deployed. It had 46 additional ignition cycles on it after the airbags deployed. He also said there was paint on the vehicle that couldn't be attributed to the place it was found. So I'll read that one just again. McGrath pointed out the vehicle had 11 additional miles on it from when the airbags deployed. It had 46 additional ignition cycles on it after the airbags deployed. He also said there was a paint on the vehicle that couldn't be attributed to the place it was found. Anyone with information about this case, you could go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com or call 803-200-7994. So in one hand, we've got he is sounding obsessed and obsessive, and a bit sort stalkerish, and maybe some mental health issues may be in play. But then we have these really odd things like, why was there 11 additional miles on the car after the airbags deployed? Seems a bit weird. Well, that's what they're kind of, thinking or saying. 46 additional ignition cycles on it after the airbags deployed. So somebody, after it crashed, tried to turn the key 46 times to try and get it going. That in itself is a little bit odd. And then the dad said, or the PI said, there was paint on the vehicle that couldn't be attributed to the place it was found. So this is all very weird stuff going on. Now, the great thing about this article, which I've linked below, is it has the report, the police report, all 54 pages of it. So if that's something that you're interested in reading, you can definitely go here and have a look. Kaleidoscope says, how can you drive it with airbags out? I don't know. Kaleidoscope, you tell me, because I don't know. So I'm going to read you just the sort of general report. On 23rd of June 21 at approximately 7 o'clock, I was dispatched to a telephone call for service reference a missing person. I observed the call notes, which showed that the reporting party, David, lives in South Carolina, and that he had not heard from his son, Daniel, since this morning when he was at a job site in Buckeye. I called Daniel's cell phone multiple times. The phone rang, but I received no answer. I then called Daniel's work matrix. I spoke with Georgia at the front desk and let her know about my investigation. Georgia was very concerned and then said that she would start calling some supervisors and that they would be calling me. I then spoke with David by telephone. David's the dad. David said that his daughter had been to Daniel's apartment and that Daniel was not there, and neither was his vehicle, which was described as a blue Jeep Renegade. David also said that they had been receiving information from a co-worker of Daniel's. He advised that Daniel had been to the job site in Buckeye, but that he had left in the morning and had not come back. I then spoke with Kevin, who was a supervisor with the company. He advised that Ken, that with the company, Weber, was the person that had met with Daniel. I spoke with Ken on the phone. Ken advised that Daniel arrived at the site at around 0900 and that it was raining. Ken said that Daniel was saying things that did not make sense, like asking Ken if wanted to go and rest and then asked if he wanted to go to the Phoenix to rest. Ken advised that Daniel was not making sense with the things that he was saying and that he was talking about things that did not make sense. Well, that's just an oxymoron, isn't it? Welcome, Curious. Ken said that Daniel was there for approximately 15 minutes and then he suddenly left. Ken said that approximately 1500 hours, he was made aware that Daniel had not been located and had not responded to texts or calls from work or family. Ken said that he started to drive to the desert to find Daniel. Ken said that the road to their site runs north-south and that if you head south, it comes to a T intersection, and that if you turn east, you go to Sun Valley Parkway, where they had come from. Ken said that he could see Daniel's tire marks and that they turned westbound at the intersection, which leads to an extremely large desert area. Ken said that he drove down the road trying to locate Daniel, but was unable to. I updated David on my findings at this point. I let him know that I was going to circulate the area of the desert to try and find Daniel. I also let him know that Daniel was going to be put in the NCIC as missing persons. Myself and Officer Thatcher spent hours trying to locate the vehicle in the area, but were unable to locate Daniel. So the rest, obviously, if you want to read the rest of the document, there's 54 pages of it. I'll have the link in the description box below. Good to see you, Curious. Any vehicle I've seen with airbags out couldn't be driven. Was windshield or driver's column damage mentioned? Not in this, but we'll try and see in this next one. See what's said on this. So this one's 12news.com. Something wasn't right. Private investigator claims suspicious details surround missing Valley man's crashed Jeep. Foul play not suspected with 24-year-old Daniel Robinson after his Jeep was found in a ravine last month. He's been missing since June. And just checking, there should be a... I'll have to make sure I find a picture of the Jeep. So Daniel Robinson, 24, was last seen driving a blue 2017 Jeep Renegade away from his work site in Buckeye in June. Since then, his father, David, and anywhere between 75 to 200 volunteers have searched every Saturday for the geologist. On July 21st, a rancher found the Jeep rolled over on its side in a ravine on his property on Monday. Police said the airbags in the vehicle were deployed, and officials said evidence shows Robinson was wearing his seatbelt at the time of the crash. Initially, I was scared when I first got the call. His father said, "We have the vehicle, but we don't have my son." David hired accident reconstructionist and private investigator Jeff McGrath of Three Laws Recon Investigations to piece together how Daniel's Jeep ended up in the ravine. Something wasn't right. Immediately when I saw the vehicle, I noticed something wasn't right with it, said McGrath. The damage didn't match with the terrain and where it was laying. McGrath downloaded the vehicle's information from the airbag control module and found the Jeep was started more than 40 times after the airbags were deployed. He said, after the airbags came out, somebody turned their ignition over at least 46 more times. That's not normal. We usually see one or two because it adds one when we download the box, said McGrath. Who drove the car after the airbags were deployed? The ACM also records the vehicle's speed after the airbags were deployed. There's an additional 11 miles on the car since the airbags deployed. So that tells me the car was driven around after it was crashed. Police said they found multiple belongings of Robinson's, including clothes, his cell phone, his wallet, and his keys. Detectives immediately began searching for Robinson in the area by ground, air, and are analysing evidence left in the car. Officials said foul play is not suspected based on the condition of how the Jeep was left. McGrath said the system shows the Jeep was involved in a collision around 1 p.m., nearly 4 hours after he was last seen. So we're getting the police saying there's no foul play going on here. And, you know, we know that he was in some mental distress, but we're having this PI and dad saying, hang on, guys, this is not right. Something is wrong here. We have a gap in time and we don't know where he went and what was going on, said McGrath. The activity with the vehicle is very suspicious. And anytime we get a download that doesn't match, by looking at the photographs, it doesn't match the area. Sometimes those could be a staged event, and that looked like a staged event to me. Detectives learned from family, friends, and co-workers that Robinson's behaviour in the days prior to him going missing was not like himself at times, but there is no indication that he wished to harm himself or leave the area. His dad drove over 1,800 miles to Arizona to find his son and has been working with Buckeye police. It's very out of character. He said he would never go anywhere without telling his family. Despite what I see and despite what I know, I really believe one day I'm going to find my son and I'm going to put my arms around him. At this time, McGrath doesn't believe Daniel's disappearance is criminal, either after discovering he may have been struggling with his mental health. This is very sad. We want to bring Daniel home. We want to bring him home to his family. Search parties were out there, so that's perfect. Police were able to tell that Daniel's seatbelt was engaged at the time of the crash, thanks to a black box type computer inside the car, but it could not tell the time or date of the crash. Robertson graduated 3 years ago with a major in archaeology and moved to Tempe to work for Matrix Engineering, and he had been working there for the past couple of years. Daniel is an employee and we've been coordinating with the family to the best of our ability. Daniel has worked for us for 2 to 3 years as a field geologist. Daniel's dad, David, has announced that a $10,000 reward is being offered for anyone who has information on Daniel's whereabouts. Very, very sad story of, again, a smashed car, and a young one missing. We hear that quite a lot. I mean, I think a few lives ago we did the Jason Landry case. The Jason Landry case. And in that one, it was a car with clothes and everything in it and crashed, but no sign of the driver. And this is just another one. It seems to happen quite often, like some weird phenomenon. I can't even say that word. Kira says, good to see you. Sorry I'm late. I seen your post on Facebook and then it fell out of my brain. Curious, it happens to me all the time. Quite often it happens to me when I'm on live stream, which is real bad. All right, I just want to remind you that the rules are at the top of the chat screen. If you want to become a member of the channel and have your name in green and get some cool little emoji thingies, for less than a coffee a month, you can help the channel out, and the information is in the description box below with heaps of other information as well. Yeah, so this one definitely was real similar. Strange case, very strange case. Now, I put a bit of a call out on the community page a little while ago. I'm not sure who found it or who's seen it, but in the cases that we cover, if you guys find good updates that I need to see, if you could send them to me at nzmissing@gmail.com or go onto my Facebook page and message me through there and let me know, that would be good. We cover a lot of cases and sometimes I can't find or I don't get to see a lot of the updates, especially being in New Zealand. It's not something that is right in front of me. I've got to go searching. So if that's something you guys can do, then that would be really, really helpful. And he says, at least you didn't try to put the boiled kettle in the fridge the other day. I've done that. Just saying. Okay. Okay, I just found out the other day how to do this. Oh no, why is it not doing it? Oh, here it is. Oh, thank goodness. Oh no, why isn't it going further down? Okay, it's not working. What I wanted to work is not working. Damn. That's all right. We'll just have to type it in and go from there. Because the next case I wanted to cover is about a young man called Jelani Day. I had all this set up, I swear, and then, I don't know, I'd done something wrong. And again, just messes with me. Just messes with me. So we will listen to this and then read when it loads.
Traveled to Central Illinois investigating what led up to the discovery of this young graduate student's body more than 60 miles from his campus, found in a river in a city his family says was completely foreign to him. His family tells the I-Team they will not rest until they know exactly what happened to Jelani Day.
This area is where they drove in.
This wooded area in the small town of Peru, Illinois, has become all too familiar to Jelani Day's mother, Carmen.
This trail here, somebody drove through here.
Right here, police found the one concrete clue in his disappearance, her son's car, with the license plates removed.
My kids didn't come to Peru for nothing. Never was raised anywhere near here. Don't know anyone here. And Jelani would not have known to come and park his car in this wooded area.
The distance between where Jelani's car was found to where his body was found is another puzzling part of this mystery. From this spot, the I-Team had to drive nearly 2 miles to the Illinois River, where investigators located Day's body. His mom says none of this makes sense.
How are you coping with all of this right now?
I've had to grieve while working and trying to find answers.
The search for answers leads back to the Illinois State University campus. August 25th, one of Day's professors reports he didn't show up to class, and he wasn't picking up his phone.
I didn't get any text messages back because usually that's our thing. They'll call me right back. That's the moment when I said something is wrong.
Investigators say Day was last seen on campus the day before, August 24th, at around 7:20 a.m. at the Student Center. And that same day at 9:12 a.m., this is the last known image of Jelani. He was spotted on surveillance video at a cannabis dispensary in Bloomington.
Our detectives were looking through electronic data, and this was really the last location that we had. Anything that's connected to, say, electricity or cell phone tower is something that we, the police, can look into.
But as for how his car got from here to Peru, Illinois, which is 60 miles north, that remains a mystery.
Right in here.
From where Jelani's car was located, we noticed a trail that leads to a nearby road.
I guarantee you my son didn't drive himself here. Whoever brought Jelani here, they were very familiar with this area.
Earlier this week, the LaSalle County coroner said Day's cause of death is drowning because he was found in the river, and that there was no evidence to the body. Day's mother is adamant anyone in the community who believes Jelani did this to himself is wrong.
Number one, Jelani knew how to swim. For them to imply that Jelani drove his car into this space, took it all the way over there, parked it, removed his license plate, then walked to where they're saying that his body was found 1.5 miles away from here, and took off his shoes, his socks, and his shorts, and put himself in this water. Doesn't even make sense.
Day's mom says the license plates to her son's car and his phone still haven't been found. The family tells me they're demanding answers and justice.
I know that Jelani knows that no matter what he was doing, whenever he needed me, I was there. So I know now that he knows that I am going to be there, and I'm going to find out what happened to him.
Now, the police departments on this case tell the I-Team they are working tirelessly to find out what happened to Jelani and are dedicated to providing the family with answers. But Jelani's mother tells me she feels she has received limited assistance from local and state officials and is initiating a third independent autopsy. She is pleading with the Illinois Attorney General and the FBI to take over this case and help her find out what happened to her son.
So we hear this time and time again where victims and their families don't feel like they're getting enough attention from police about their cases. And when it's your baby, when it's your son, that's going to be extremely stressful. We'll definitely be able to have some time at the end to discuss some of these cases. Kira says, I wonder if they've checked the license plates to see if they've been put on another car. I don't know. Let's have a read. Jelani Day's official cause of death is drowning, but his mother suspects foul play was involved and that it, in fact, was a homicide. Jelani, an Illinois State University graduate student studying speech-language pathology, was last seen in Bloomington on August the 24th. His body was found more than an hour north of there in Peru, more than 60 miles from his campus. Now, I had all this set up for you guys. I'm not sure what I did to mess it up, but this is me we're talking about. So let's have a look at where Bloomington is and where Peru is, where the car was found. And remember, his mum said that he had didn't know anything about Peru, wouldn't go there, especially wouldn't go into a wooded area and take the plates of his car. It just sounds a bit dodge. So let's see if we can have a look here. Come on, computer, don't do this to me. No. P-E-R. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Come on, computer, you can do it. You can do it. You know, one day I'm going to start saving my membership and saving my donations to put toward a new computer, because sometimes this is bullshit. Okay, so we've got Bloomington and Peru, and by car it's about 63.9 miles, and they're saying it would take 1 hour and 1 minute. So that's a fair chunk away, you know what I mean? Day's body was found floating in the Illinois River, but before that, his car was found in a wooded area of Peru, its license plates removed. It was the one concrete clue police found in his disappearance, and one that his mother can't stop thinking about. My kids come to Peru for nothing, she said. Never was raised anywhere near here, don't know anyone here. Jelani would not have known to come and park his car in this wooded area. The distance between where Day's car was found and where his body was found is another puzzling part of the mystery. That's nearly 2 miles away. His mother says none of it makes sense. I've had to grieve while working and trying to find answers, she said. Her search for answers leads back to the ISU campus on August 25th. One of Day's professors reported he didn't show up to class and he wasn't picking up his phone. She said, I didn't get a text message back. Usually that's our thing. He'll call me right back. That's the moment I said something is wrong. Investigators say Day was last seen at 7:20 a.m. the morning before at the Student Center. The same day at 9:12 a.m. he was spotted on surveillance video at the Beyond Hello Cannabis Dispensary in Bloomington. And then that's the last known image. Hey, Wyoming, good to have you. Glad you could make it. Police said detectives looked through electronic data and that was the final location they can find. Police said they look into anything that's connected to electricity or a cell phone tower. But how Jelani Day's car got from Bloomington 60 miles north to Peru remains a mystery. A trail near where his car was located leads to a nearby road. His mum said, I guarantee you my son didn't drive himself here. Whoever brought Jelani here, they were very familiar with this area. Earlier this week, the LaSalle County coroner named Day's cause of death a drowning because he was found in the river and because there was no evidence of injury to the body. But his mother is adamant that anyone in the community who believes he did this to himself is wrong. Number one, Day said, Jelani knew how to swim. For them to imply that Jelani drove his car into the space, took it over there, parked it, removed his license plates, then walked to where his body was found 1.5 miles away from here, then took his shoes off and socks and his shorts and then put himself in this water, it doesn't make sense. Bolden Day said her son's license plates and his phone still haven't been found. The family is demanding answers and justice. So, I mean, if they haven't been found, doesn't that allude to somebody else having them? I know that Jelani knows that no matter what he is doing, whenever he needed me, I was there. So I know that he knows that I'm going to be there and I'm going to find out what happened. The police departments investigating this case say they're working tirelessly to find out what happened to Jelani and are dedicated to providing the family with answers. But his mother says she feels she has received little assistance from local and state officials and is initiating a third-party private independent autopsy. She is also pleading with Illinois Attorney General and the FBI to take over the case and help her find out what happened to her son. So let's read some comments. Curious, there's so many people going missing plus their usual duties. The police are probably thinly spread. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I mean, there is. When I go looking for cases to feature, I have to pick out of thousands and thousands and thousands. It's not easy to pick which ones, you know. Kaleidoscope says, I'm glad I'm not the only one who organises the research and loses it anyway. Kaleidoscope, I got out of bed like at midnight tonight because I couldn't sleep. And I thought, right, I will set up everything for the live, get it all planned so there's no interruptions in anything. So there was and then I went to bed about 3 thinking, sweet, I can relax and sleep now. I've got it sorted. But no, not even. Kaleidoscope says, I wrote my episode months ago, thought it was saved. Guess what I'm doing now? I even did, because I just finished a course a few months ago, and I did a whole assignment and finished the whole thing. And for some stupid reason, I did not save it. Thought I did. And Wyoming, so good to see you. Just got home. Hello, everyone. If you want to be green like Wyoming, you can become a member and just join that button. And for like $3.99 a month, which is really cheap, you can support the channel. That's how I read that, TJ. Yeah, about the plates, right? Wyoming says, sounds like someone took the plates off to try and hide the vehicle owner. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. And Curious says, be right back. She needs to hang out the washing. Well, you know, sometimes washing takes precedence because you've got to get it out when you can, right? So there was another interesting there was another article that I had lined up. But now, because of what I've done, okay. Okay, that's not it. Just bear with me. Just bear with me one minute, guys. Okay, I don't know, but that's the crux of it anyway. And it's just there's so many young people going missing. It's really, really sad. Really, really sad. I actually think I missed something in just to be a pain. I'm going to go back just quickly to the Daniel Robinson case because there was an article that I missed. Of course, I had this all planned out, and then, shit happened. And this is from bet.com. Human remains discovered in search for missing geologist Daniel Robinson. Investigators uncovered human remains in the desert near the city of Bucko, Arizona. Volunteer-led searches have been conducted in hopes of finding 24-year-old geologist Daniel Robinson, who has been missing since June. On Sunday, November 7th, in a video update posted on Twitter, Robinson's father and a private investigator said the remains do not appear to be that of Robinson. However, they hope that once the remains are identified, it will provide closure to another grieving family. According to Phoenix station KNXV, the Buckeye Police Department confirmed on Sunday in an email that officers responded to a call about possible human remains that were found, as well as other evidence in the area of Sun Valley Parkway. The remains have been sent out for official DNA testing. Very interesting. But even though they haven't been identified, they're saying at this stage it doesn't appear to be his body. Oh, what a good hubby. Tell hubby we appreciate your hubby. Yes, it's crazy, Wyoming. I wish it would just stop, but then we'd have nothing to talk about, right? It's just so hard. I'm on multiple Facebook groups, true crime Facebook groups, and just all day, every day, there is cases of unsolved murders and people missing, and I just sometimes don't even know where to start or which ones to pick, because there's just so many, but you can't do it all, so it's really, really tough. So I'm going to make sure that I put these in the description box below so that you can see. Now, a couple of quick things before we move on to the next case. Yesterday, oh, come on. Yesterday on my community post, I put down or said that John Lorden was actually covering a case that was close to my heart. It was about a transgender or a trans fluid person that had gone missing, and it's something that really needed some time and really needed some people to watch it, that's for sure. I know of trans people, and I know of the stigma that they get and how awful it is. John actually did a fundraiser with this. So I'm just trying to find it on my screen. 5,000 views and only $190 raised. Very, very sad. Hey, Liz, welcome. Good to see you. Oh, hang on. I clicked the wrong button. This is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It's a very important topic.
We need him back.
And this case deserves to be solved just as any other case deserves to be solved. And the fact that it's only raised $190 so far says to me that there is stigma still around this. And I wish there wasn't, but it's, it's what it is. So I'll put the link in the description box for this too. And even if you don't donate, even if you can share it or leave some comment below in the description box that's nice to the family, and supportive, that would be really cool. Hey, Liz, it's good to see you. He did an excellent and kind job on their case. He really did. He did it with a lot of compassion. On the Rock says, I would consider doing cases not receiving as much coverage. What as the ones I'm doing. Kira says, I thought it would have gone down since everyone had to stay home, but I guess it drove a lot of people cray-cray. You might be right. Aces and eights, welcome. Lila, first time, great to have you here. And he says, exactly and definitely more DV. Absolutely. We need to raise awareness to not just trans, but all rainbow communities, and definitely DV at the time. So I'll leave you guys with that. Like I said, I'll put it in the description box below because I think it's a really important topic, and I really hope. I mean, it hasn't got as much views as his normal ones get, that's for sure. So you can tell there is some stigma in the community about it, which is sad, even though John did an amazing job. All right. Now, of course, I have to get good vibes. Aces and eights, thanks. I like good vibes, good vibes. I wanted to go and look into this last case. And I had it all prepared. Again, I had everything prepared, and then I didn't, and it went. So I have to go looking for it again. On the Rock says, John Lawden says that sensitive subjects gives people an easy out not to care. Yeah, it's very, very sad. I mean, just the fact that his normal videos get thousands upon thousands and thousands of views, other fundraisers get thousands and thousands of dollars, and yet this sensitive topic about trans fluid, I don't want to offend, but trans people is not getting the same, which still means stigma is alive and well, and that sucks. That really sucks. Okay. I'm just going to look for this next case. It is really sad, Aces. It is really sad. Like a trans person should have just as much coverage, should have just as much people looking, you know what I mean, than anyone else. It's wrong. Okay. So the last one of new cases that I wanted to cover was about a guy called Brendan Santo. Wyoming, sad indeed. Whatever people are, they are still human beings. Absolutely right. That's right in my book. I wonder if creators don't feel safe covering local to them sensitive topics. Yeah, I think there is some hesitancy to cover sensitive topics, especially for a creator. You don't want to offend anyone. Like if I was to do the case or cover a rainbow case, I would be scared of offending the family or the victim by saying the wrong pronouns and being coming off as insensitive.
He's been gone long enough. He needs to come home.
Brendan's aunt is helping lead
Hang
search
on.
efforts.
Stop. Oh my God. She sounded like an amazing person. Yeah, she really did. She really did. And she deserved everything that everyone else deserves. Yes, you're very lucky I'm progressive in that department. I have a transgender loved one. So that's why I feel so strongly about it. But even if I didn't, I would still feel strongly. Kaleidoscope says it also gives people with bad intentions a group of people to target because they think no one will care. Well, we care. That's for damn sure. And, you know, if you watch this and it's not something you care about, just please be respectful in the comments below, because as we have found from one of my last live streams, the parents do come on here and they do look at these lives and they do see the comments. So please be respectful. Okay, let's move you over. This is from abcnews.go.com, and I'm going to have a drink. Hang on, hold the phone. And a puff. Okay, FBI to assist in search for 18-year-old who went missing the weekend of Michigan State game. The FBI is joining the search for 18-year-old Brendan Santo, a Grand Valley State University student who's been missing since visiting friends in East Lansing the weekend of the Michigan State-Michigan game. Santo was last seen around midnight, October 29, on campus near Yakeley Hall. He was wearing grey sweatpants, a black t-shirt, a Detroit Red Wings cap, and Converse high tops. He's about 5'10" to 160 pounds. At this point, foul play is not suspected in Brendan's disappearance, and we have received no other reports of missing persons. We also do not believe that Brendan intended to harm himself. I've been talking to a lot of his friends lately, and his friends are just so devastated, said Dawn Brewer, and that's his aunt. They're really a close-knit group, and they really care about each other, and they're just hoping that he comes back. Police said they've searched by foot, helicopter, drone, and boat on the Red Cedar River near Santo's last known location. Red Cedar River is still of particular interest to us based on investigative leads and will be continued to be searched. Our genuine hope is that with these additional resources and collaboration, we will ensure that all investigative avenues are being explored, and the work that we have already done can be reviewed by other professionals or other professional agencies. A family-run Facebook page called Bring Brendan Santo Home had more than 5,600 members as of Tuesday. Brewer and hundreds of others have formed search parties to scour the Michigan State campus and surrounding areas in East Lansing. Should we have a quick look where this is? East Lansing. East Lansing. Oh yeah, by the way, I talk to myself. Have you noticed? I guess it's more evident when I'm on a microphone. Okay, let's see if we can find out where this takes place. Okay, come on, maps. Okay, so Lansing's here. I can see the state university. Come on, come on. All right. So Michigan and Lansing's actually quite right in the center. Okay. And yeah, we talked about the Facebook page, and I'll have a look for that and put it in the description box below as well. So if you want to go looking at that and you want to join, you can. We had to have at least over 500 people searching, people that we knew about, Brewer recalled. I know other MSU students were out there just searching. You know, they're like, we know this campus, we know where to look. The amount of support we've gotten just floors me, and these people have been so amazing and so wonderful to help us find Brendan. The Santo family is offering a $5,000 reward to anyone with credible information that leads to finding Brendan. Tips can be shared with MSUPD at 844-99-MSUPD or Crime Stoppers at 517-483-STOP. Okay. What have we got? Yep, you're totally correct there. I'm glad you're giving it coverage. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not every American is backward in being progressive, but mover positive changes definitely are needed. Absolutely. Looks like the Facebook page has been taken down. Thanks, Scott. That's a bit of a bugger, isn't it? Let's see if we've got any more here, more updates. So we've got the latest update, which was just 19 hours ago. This is fox2detroit.com. Search for missing Rochester Hills teen continues. It has now been 2 weeks since Brendan Santo was last seen at Michigan State. Students are perplexed and concerned at the disappearance of him, who was visiting from Grand Valley State. It's really sad to think he's not even a student here, but came to visit and have a good time, just dropped off the grid. A reward has now grown to $11,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Brendan. Michigan State University's president said security cameras at Yakeley Hall weren't working at the time of his disappearance. How often do we see or hear that? It's very sad when you hear that. It was the last place he was seen walking in the area. This is one of the only girls' halls on campus. Girls' only halls. How do you not have cameras on? Said student Jesus Hernandez. Right? Several law enforcement agencies are working together, including the FBI, trying to find Brendan. Volunteers have joined search efforts, but so far no luck. The first week, I know a lot of people were worried. My whole friend group was talking about it. After 2 weeks, that's a long time, said student Ryan Snyder. Santo disappeared shortly before midnight on October the 30th, the night before the Michigan State game. Everyone was out that night. I went out that night. Lights were everywhere. Everyone was out and about. Here's a good photo. It's just fortunate and sad, unfortunate and sad. I'm saddened to see this happen so close to home. We're a community devastated by that. They did hold a prayer vigil, which was nice, or a prayer gathering. Meanwhile, more than $90,000 has been raised online to help with this search efforts, which is absolutely amazing. Just another bizarre story of a young man just vanishing into thin air, and I just always it just never stops. Curious. I think there are pockets of ignorance in every society. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. And he says, mixed bag in every country. We had the world's first transgender mayor, then member of parliament in the 90s. Yes, we did, Annie. That's very progressive for us in New Zealand. Wyoming says, my state used to be not nice with the rainbow community, but it's gotten better, especially after the Matthew Shepard case. I never heard about that case. Aces and eights. Oh, that is horribly inconvenient. Horribly convenient. I know, and I hear that so many times in a case. Oh, they had cameras, but for some reason they weren't working that night. Matt Shepard case, horrific. Is it something that I might have to look into? Go away, Facebook. I like it when they do prayer vigils. Yeah, it's a nice way for everybody to come together, and that's not something that happens in New Zealand. We don't generally do prayer vigils. Things are a lot different. In fact, in New Zealand, if your loved one goes missing or unsolved, it's very rarely that you'll see the family talk about it. It's not the done thing. Usually, I think New Zealanders are a bit more quiet and keep to themselves. They don't like the limelight or the media. So definitely happens a little differently. Please make sure you've given us a like and a subscribe. Also, you can join the membership. It's $3.99 a whole month, and it goes a long way. It gets your name in green. Just makes you feel special. So those are the new cases that I wanted to talk about. And like I said, I'll make sure everything's in there. Wyoming says it was very terrible. Matthew Shepard case is very sad. I'm a bit worried to look it up. I think I might know what the one you're talking about it is, and it's not nice. But I will have a look. I tried to think of the format of the show going forward. I want to be able to bring new cases to light every week. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to have time to go through all the cases that we are covering to check for updates. So I want to sort of leave that to you guys to give me a hand. If you see updates on cases that we've covered, let me know. Send it to me, nzmissing@gmail.com, or go onto the Facebook page and message me there. Then I can decide whether it's an update that's important enough to sort of do in a show, or whether I hold on to it and perhaps do like an update special live just to catch up on the cases, because I don't want to forget the cases that we've covered, but I also want to have time to bring to light new cases each week as well. So I don't know how that sits with you guys. I feel special. You are special. Curious? One of the cases that I did want to update, actually, though, was the Cleo Smith one. There was a couple of things coming out about this creep that abducted her that were quite interesting. So I'm just going to try and find it. It's supposed to be about, it's more about the guy, Terence Kelly. Terence Kelly? Yeah, that's him, isn't it? Creep. Now, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of missing in cold cases. I definitely would email you if I hear anything, new information. I appreciate that. Because sometimes there's just not enough hours in the day for me to go through every case that we've covered to find out if there's updates, because I want to do new cases as well. And, you know, yeah, you got. All right, listen to this, guys. This is nzhero.co.nz. Go. Hang on. Play. Oh, fuck off. Just hold the phone. Just give the computer a moment or two to sort its shit out. Otherwise, we'll just read it, and when it magically starts playing, then we'll go back to it. So details about the troubled early years of the man accused of kidnapping Australian preschooler Cleo Smith have emerged in an audio tape that reveals he was removed from his mother's care at a young age. Penny Walker, a respected member of the Indigenous community, said she took Terence Kelly under her wing when he was just 2 years old. During a 2019 oral history interview with Denmark-based photographer Nip Duncan, Walker spoke about a little boy with jet black curly hair and how he ended up in her care in 1987. Born in 1943, Walker was 44 years old when she took him in and called him Terry. Took him in at 44? In the interview, she said she had been a heavy drinker in her youth and she was a domestic violence victim. She said her own 6 biological children had been taken from her. Later in life, she said she was blessed when she was given the chance to raise Kelly, whose mother was a drug addict and did not want him. When she took him in, she said she considered Kelly a gift from God. This is sounding disturbing already. His mum didn't want him and she threw him away. She said, hang on, I'm getting a mint. Just hold on. Oh, she was 44. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, God. His mum didn't want him and she threw him away. She said, I looked down at him and this little boy, God was giving me something back into my life, my children. So I had this little boy, beautiful boy, Terry, 2-year-old, jet black curly hair. She said she raised him alongside her 2 grandsons after the death of her daughter from multiple sclerosis. Walker was part of the stolen generation and also spoke about her traumatic childhood, which included SA and beatings, and the Moore River Native Settlement in New Norcia Mission. She died in 2020, leaving Kelly living alone in their Carnarvon house, where locals said he became increasingly withdrawn. Other locals who knew Kelly said they didn't notice any unusual behaviour in his younger years. A woman who went to school with the alleged kidnapper said police claims about the abduction of Cleo Smith shocked, infuriated, and saddened her. This smile, guys, is just, you couldn't get a bigger one, eh? I went to school with Terence Kelly, or Terry as we know him, for years, the long-term local and former classmate, old Perth now. I didn't notice any unusual behaviour. He was just one of the kids that I grew up with. His recent alleged actions have shocked, infuriated, and saddened me like they have most people that knew him. It's been revealed that Kelly allegedly collected dolls and is believed to have a significant collection in a room inside his home, which is being methodically searched by forensic officers. Pictures from the search revealed a Bratz doll was among the items taken by police inside the home after Cleo was rescued on November 3rd, 18 days after allegedly being snatched from her family's tent at Quoba Blowholes. Kelly was arrested last week after an extensive police investigation led detectives to a Carnarvon home where 4-year-old Cleo was found locked inside a room. A tradie who worked inside the home has informed police that Kelly told him he had a young daughter. Interesting. The Australian newspaper reports the painter who worked on the house for Western Australia's Public Housing Department told police he had seen a room that looked like it was decorated for a little girl with shelves that were lined with dolls. Kelly's former social media pages show he had an apparent interest in dolls. The 36-year-old called him Bratz DeLuca, called himself Bratz DeLuca, a name appropriated from one of his favourite brands of doll. Soon after his arrest, pictures he had posted to his Facebook account began circulating amongst the public, sparking widespread media coverage. In one photo shared to his account, April, Kelly poses with a doll inside a car. Other pictures from his social media account show him posing with Bratz dolls and wearing a shirt bearing the Bratz dolls logo, while a separate post shows shelves lined with dolls. Kelly was brought into custody on Tuesday last week and questioned for hours before police released a statement on Thursday saying he had been charged. He is due to appear in court in December. Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed always, you know. I was wondering. More like a toy shop. It was more like a toy shop, actually. The amount he had was insane. Maybe he snapped. Maybe it was just opportunist. They say that there's no link between him and the family before this event, so it's likely that it was just opportunity or an opportunist event, which means he was obviously out in the camping grounds, and maybe he just seen them roll up and put their tent together, and he saw Cleo running around, and then seen her put to bed, and thought, yeah, let's get her, I guess. It's crazy. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I know I've touched on the true crime on YouTube, and that's the channels that say that they're true crime, but all it is just drama between creators throwing shade at one another, a clear divide between people who believe one thing or believe one creator, and it feels like you're supposed to pick sides. I've gone into a lot of channels lately because I too want to go into channels and find information, and I enjoy a good live stream or a live stream that is full of information and that the chat's good and friendly. But I just seem to end up finding ones that they're bashing people. They're either bashing other creators or they're bashing people in the public, and I just can't. And I'm not one to sit back and shut up, unfortunately, either. I usually have something to say, but it's getting really thin. It's getting really, really thin and start to pee me off a lot. Maybe he went there hoping to find a little girl to take, possibly. So strange taking Cleo. He's really, really lucky that he didn't get caught. Apparently, there was a lot of people around. Aces, thank you for that update. I had no idea. No worries. Curious says, I've unsubscribed to some. It annoys the bejesus out of me. They just need to keep the focus on the subject. Absolutely. If all the people on YouTube that claim to be true crimers or for true crime were doing the same thing that we're doing here, just cases that need to be put out and no drama, this could be, and supported each other, this could be a great community. But every day I'm just in shock. And even some, I'm going to some channels who I thought were okay, and then they start this stuff and I'm like, out of it. No. Wyoming says, I hate drama. That's why I like your channel, TJ. I know what you're talking about, right? Same. Are we going to talk about the Dr. Phil show? Okay. I don't usually like covering the Summer Wells case because it always turns into a bit of an argument between the people in the chat. There can be other creators who don't agree with my opinion. That can be very bullying. I've had people say, well, stand up for yourself and just do it. But I just don't want to be involved in the drama. I did see the Dr. Phil show. If you want to discuss the Dr. Phil show, put a 1 in the chat if you think we can do it respectively. Put a 2 if you don't want to talk about it. So 1 if you want to talk about the Dr. Phil show, and 2 if you'd rather leave it. Curious says they could do great things if they joined forces. That's what I mean. If we had, all of these true crimers actually sharing the same and getting the same information out there, we could be a force. Absolutely. I don't blame you. We could just ask, what did we think about what he said? 2, you want to leave it. one, but I haven't seen the second one. There's just so much drama behind the Summer Wells case, and I feel like it's not even a case about Summer Wells anymore. It's a case about who can exploit Don and Candace the most, to be honest. Who can get them on their channel, get heaps of views from them. That's what I believe it has come down to, for sure. And actually, I was in a channel yesterday, and this person was saying to her chat, tell me what I'm supposed to do. There's nothing new in Summer's case. We can't continue to talk about Summer's case anymore. So what are we supposed to do? Am I supposed to forget it? And I'm thinking, so you just came to YouTube because of Summer's case. That's the only case you're covering. And now you're wondering what you're going to do because the case is getting cold and being forgotten. So curious you agree. You're all right about that, TJ. So that's why I prefer not to cover the Summer Wells case, because it's not just about her. There's no new news. No new news. There's nothing new. Summers haven't been found. There's nothing new to report. The only thing that's new is what's happening with Don Wells and Candace Wells. And it's not their case. It's not about them. It's about Summer. And there's so many people, so many channels that go, oh, it's about Summer, it's about Summer. But then they keep, Curious says, they keep rehashing info that's been gone through 1,000,000,000% times. And then they just speculate and bash the parents. And, that's not how we do it here. Not here. So I really haven't got much else to talk about today, but we're welcome to chat for a wee bit longer if anyone wants to. Of course, make sure you've hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, consider being a member, which is also cool. And yeah, I'm not getting much work at the moment, so I'd like to try, if I can, do something every second day, perhaps. Come online and do some cases. Curious says, and then there are people just finding the case and asking the same odd questions. Absolutely. And then there's the speculation channels that just come out of left field and have these wild speculations, and it pees me off. It does. It pees me off. I'm just over it. I'm not over Summer. I'm not over Summer's case at all. I mean, I want her to be found and safe and that, but there's nothing new. There's nothing new. And unfortunately, you have to move on because there's so much other cases that need attention. You can't just get stuck on one. And I think it's because a lot of these channels have only focused on Summer. Summer was their breadwinner. You know what I mean? They've made a lot of money off Summer and Don and Candace. They've made a lot of money. So what happens now when the case is going a bit cold and a bit old? They're grasping at straws, grasping at money. Wyoming says, yes, I'm tired of those channels. Absolutely. So keep an eye out there, guys. If you think there is cases that I could cover, let me know. If you see updates on cases that we have covered, then please let me know. Tired of the drama in Summer's case. I am too. It's just caused divisions. It's caused hate. It's caused so much. It's just blows my mind. And they're not, in my eyes, they're not true crime channels. They're just drama channels. They like to go under the true crime umbrella because it makes them feel better, makes them feel special, but really they're just full of shit, to be honest. I don't bash channels, so I'm never going to name any channel. That's not what I'm about. But there's a few of them, and if you're around YouTube long enough, you'll find them. Thanks, TJ. You have a great chat on your channel. Oh, thank you, Wyoming. I appreciate that. Kira says, so much hate. I can't stand it. I know there is so much hate on YouTube. It's just unreal. My mind gets blown like every day I'm on YouTube. And I'm a YouTuber. I like to go and see what's out there and see what other channels are out there. And occasionally I think, oh, I found a good channel here. And then they'll start bashing another creator or bashing people. And I'm like, what? This is not me. There doesn't need to be any bashing. What the F is that about, you know? And I'll have to just leave. And it happens to me just about every single day as well. Maybe I'm on YouTube too much. Maybe I need help. If I need help, then a lot of you guys need help as well. So, as you can see, you can go to my Facebook page and you can message me through there. A lot of the Facebook page is up to the minute sort of updates on New Zealand cases, and usually the live stream here is about international cases. I told you, curious, if I spend too much time on YouTube, then all you guys do as well. All right, I'm gonna head out. Thank you so much. So like I said, I'm going to try and come in more regularly. I'm going to try for every 2 days, unless something important is coming up and I can't, then I won't. And yeah, Wyoming says, yeah, I've unsubscribed to some of those channels because of that crap. I know, we need to make a stand, you know, and unsubscribe and let them know that we're just not going to tolerate it. On the rocks, hugs. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. You know, I appreciate each and every one of you. I don't mind whether you share, you like, you follow, you donate, you just chat, chat to your mates, recommend the channel. Whatever you do, it helps. And it's really, really muchly appreciated. So I really, really thank you. Please, obviously, look in the description box below for links on how to contact me, donate, and what we've talked about as well. So much love to you guys. Thanks, Curious, Wyoming, On the Rocks. Will, I think Will was here somewhere, if I remember rightly. Aces and Eights, thank you for coming. It was great to see you. Annie, thank you. I think that was about all we had in today. Scott Moynihan, thank you very much for coming along. Kaleidoscope of Crime, of course, thank you very much. Hope I don't miss anybody. I'm lucky that it's such a small chat, but it's a great chat. All right, guys. Stay safe. Be kind. Have a great night, great day, great afternoon, whatever it is for you.